barbecue? That's right, barbecue.
We're back! We've seen so many clips of people from around the world coming to the United States for the World Cup and falling in love with American food, especially barbecue brisket. In this video, we'll show you how you can recreate those barbecue flavors in your own home without specialized equipment. So stay tuned to see how it's done. Let's talk meat. So many people.
That's appropriate.
So many people from around the world have come to the United States and have sampled all the wondrous foods we have here.
Especially the brisket. That's why we're doing this.
This is one of the things I've seen most is people discovering beef brisket, especially the Texas style barbecue. So that's what we're going to try to duplicate in a way that you don't need specialized equipment, you don't need space or time. You can do this in the oven.
You need time. It's still gonna.
Not a lot of time. It's not like it's going to be 16 hours smoking this damn thing.
No.
So
it will take hours.
Right. So we have beef brisket. This is actually the pectoral muscle of the beef cow, and
Can you please put Kylo Ren punching himself in the chest?
If it's not cooked low and slow, it can be kind of a tough piece of meat. That's why
it's braised usually in like a sauce for hours.
That's why you have that long, low and slow.
Mm-hmm.
We have these.
It's a little, I'm going to tilt it to show. They have this upside down, but you can see the bottom, all the fat. That's actually a decent amount. Sometimes you can get pieces that it's quite thick. That's even, I say, about as much as you need. You also need to leave the fat.
Yes.
Trim it off after you've cooked it, fine. But that will keep it from drying out. It'll make, I know everybody hates the word moist, but that's what it's going to do.
Because essentially
leave the fat and then trim it later.
Because these are going to be cooked like this, with the fat cap up above, so it melts and renders and just adds so much flavor to the meat.
Your stomach is already like brisket.
Yeah, I know, seriously. But you can see these are smaller cuts. It's not that giant hunk that you see in some of the barbecue shows and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Was it like roughly the size of the smallest packed brisket I've ever seen is about bigger than like this board. We live in Lancaster, which is dairy country, and they have a lot of farms and cows, so they make smaller cuts.
So this is much more convenient if you're cooking just for a few people, not a whole picnic, or if it's it's easy if it's in the oven, a hell of a lot easier too.
Yeah, although we have done the full one, but the tip we wanted to let you know is if you can't find smaller cuts like this in your store and you only find that massive brisket, even any grocery store, they have a meat department. Even if they don't have a butcher counter, there's a meat department in the back that is packaging and processing stuff. If they have a way to call them, or if you go to customer service, have somebody meet you in the meat section, grab that big piece and show them where you want it cut. They will cut it down and sell you just that portion, and then they'll repackage what's left. Mm-hmm. Because they might even break it down smaller for they will do that for you if it's I need this, but this is too big. Almost every grocery store wants to sell it, and they will sell it. They'll cut what you need.
Right, and these pieces, each of them are a little over 5 pounds. Excuse me, a total of 5 pounds, but each of them are a little over 2 pounds. And so you can see that's
what is it? Those big ones are around like 8 pounds.
8 pounds, or you can get even bigger if you find the right place. But brisket isn't exactly common everywhere, especially outside the United States. You may be able to find it, you may not. So that's where chuck roast comes in.
Yes.
This is a lot more common around the world.
Under different names?
Sometimes, yes.
Your sauce is bouncing all over the place. It's a little volcano.
So sometimes you might call it like a braising steak or something like that. But any beef that has, you can see some of the decent marbling in here. It doesn't even necessarily have to have the fat cap that the brisket does, but a decent marbling, and you cook it low and slow, and it should work all right with the rub. So that's what we're doing here.
Yeah, because chuck roast is something else you use in soups and stews and braising. And
yeah, because
it's tough and it needs to break down, and it has more fat for flavor.
Mm-hmm. So that's what we're experimenting with this chuck roast, because around the world, you may not be able to find brisket. So this is a lot more common. Some places in Asia or even areas in Europe, you may not be able to find, huge pieces of brisket or beef simply because there isn't space. Mm-hmm. And so you should be able to find somebody, a butcher, a chuck roaster who can, trim it down as well.
Basically, what you need is something that you would never cook as a quick grilled steak. Mm-hmm. Because they're too tender. You need something that is a tougher cut, that has a lot of fat either through it, or preferably like what they call a fat cap. It's a solid slab of fat on it. We'll show you. You'll see later when we're putting the rub on. See how that goes, like the entire length. That's what you need, is that kind of thing that you would need to stew or boil for a long time to get it to break down. That's the kind of cut of meat you're looking for. Mm-hmm. Talk to your butcher.
Yes.
If you can't find either, tell them what you're trying to do, tell them what you need, and they will, help. Mm-hmm. They want to help because, one, that's their job, and two, they want to sell you stuff.
Yeah, they want to sell you, because brisket can also be much more expensive. Mm-hmm. So chuck roast might be a bit cheaper.
Ours not so much.
Although in this particular case it isn't, because it's roughly the same size as this, and it's roughly the same price.
That's just where we live too. Everything is, don't go by the prices we have.
So yeah, we're gonna experiment with that, and
let you know how it works out, because I've never tried it.
No, I haven't tried.
I've cooked chuck roast before.
Well, yeah, but it's usually like a pot roast or something like that.
Yeah.
This will be interesting to see how it does, handling the same cooking method as the brisket. Mm-hmm. I'm really curious to see how this works out. All right,
I just want to add is all of this stuff, once cooked, freezes very well. So if you have leftovers and you like it, freeze it.
Yeah, because we did that before. We did a brisket, and
the big one.
It lasted a long time, portioning out and putting it in the freezer. And occasionally he's like, "Oh, you want beef or beef brisket, or you want brisket sandwiches?" It really works nice. Mm-hmm. So
we'll be back with the rub and everything else that you need now.
Now, the first step in a good barbecue brisket is the rub. And I have all the ingredients here. This is my own concoction. It was borrowed a little bit from How to Grill by Steve Reichlin. And I augmented a little bit. So what we have here is, there will be an image up to give you the amounts of this if you actually want to follow this directly.
And
Black pepper.
Also have it in the description.
It'll be in the description as well. Black pepper. This is regular paprika. This is pimenton, which is Spanish smoked paprika.
Any smoked paprika and the regular quote paprika is just also called sweet paprika.
Mm-hmm. And then we have here the mushroom powder, and then this is the cumin. Over here is the chipotle powder and the ancho chili powder. They also add a bit of a smokiness to it, because since we're not actually using a smoker, you want to add the pimenton or these things here to give you that slight smoky flavor. I am not a huge fan of a lot of smoke when it comes to barbecue. When I used to do it, I would use a light wood smoke, mostly from downed maple limbs.
Yeah.
And that's all I needed. I didn't want a heavy duty smoke flavor.
No, because you don't want your meat to taste like you're licking the inside of a fireplace either. You don't want it to be that strong.
And also with this rub, sometimes it may not look like it's going to be enough to cover the meat. I don't cake it on too much.
No, because you like tasting the meat.
Yeah, I want the beef to really come out, and this is just to augment the flavor of the beef. Now,
but be as light or as heavy-handed as you wish.
That's however you want to do it. Then this is garlic powder, onion powder, oregano. This is
mustard powder?
This is the mustard powder, yes. A little bit of salt, and this is brown sugar. This has it's a little darker than you might used to be seeing. It's got extra molasses in it. It's dark brown sugar.
We get it from the Amish bulk section.
Right, yeah. Now, I don't have a lot of salt to start off with, because a lot of this is just this jumping off point. Because what you're going to do is you're going to mix all this together, and you're going to taste it And then you're going to see, okay, what do I want to add? Is it good as it is? Maybe, maybe not. And then you just go on and adjust from there. So I start off with a little bit of salt.
Well, and what's nice about when you make your own rather than purchasing is like if you don't like the flavor of cumin, leave it out. If you don't want it smoky, then leave out the smoked paprika and leave out the smoked chilies. If you still want it hot, you just put in plain hot chili and just increase the paprika, the sweet paprika.
Exactly.
So you can play with your taste.
Right, and you don't have to have anything spicy at all if you don't want to. A lot of times barbecue has the sweet heat, so that's why there's the brown sugar and then
A little.
the peppers over here.
And if you want stronger heat, then I mean,
Yeah, you can use cayenne pepper if you want to.
Or higher. I mean, if you want to use ghost pepper, that's your prerogative. This is your food.
Yeah, you want it hot or as little heat as you want. Now, these two here, these are interesting because the ancho chili powder, there's no ancho pepper.
No,
It's ancho, it translates into wide in Spanish. It's a mild heat, and it's got it's a poblano pepper that has been fully ripened, and it's a very dark, deep color.
But then they smoke it and dry it.
It's dried up, and then it has a rich, sweet flavor, and it has hints of dried fruit and coffee. When I smelled it earlier, when I was putting this together, it actually smelled a bit of raisins.
Okay.
And it adds an interesting depth of flavor. Now, chipotle was one of those fad foods after a while. Everybody was into chipotle. What it is, this is a jalapeno pepper that is fully ripened to red, because jalapenos are usually served green.
Although, if you grow your own, or if you find red jalapenos in a store, I highly recommend it. It's not as spicy, but the flavor, it's got more of a in-depth pepper flavor when it gets riper.
All right, and he says they're famous for their deep, earthy, and smoky sweet flavor. It's a medium level heat, ranging from 2,500 to 10,000 Scoville units.
I think now with ghost peppers being added to that level, this has gone down to like a low.
Yeah, chipotle isn't and this is the level of heat that I'm comfortable with.
Yeah.
Not super spicy or anything like that. And it adds, like I said, it adds a nice smoky and a little bit of sweetness to it. And it complements all this other stuff here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to mix all this together. But first what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the salt and the oregano together, because I want to grind the oregano up, because these are
as fine as everything else.
These are dried leaves from our own oregano plants that we have here. So I'm going to grind these up with the salt, and the salt actually works as an abrasive to grind up the leaves. And then we're going to mix it all together in a bowl.
You can use sugar too.
Yeah, sugar works too.
Yeah. So you're going to do that in a mortar and pestle, old school.
Yes. So we'll be back in a moment. The oregano and the salt are in there. You just give it a gentle grind. One went flying out.
Shoots all over today.
So, yeah, and you see the salt acts as a nice abrasive to break the leaves down. And then it also helps the oregano flavor bloom, because I can already start smelling it. I love the smell of this. This is Greek oregano, by the way. And I love the smell of it. It's a nice, strong oregano flavor. And see how quickly that broke down the leaves? Really nice. There may be a few little odds and bits there, but that's not going to be a problem.
You can use the sugar as well if you don't use salt or both.
Yeah, because sometimes I use granulated sugar in the rubs, and that works just as well as the salt does. So now we're going to get a bowl and combine all of these together. When it comes to getting a bowl for mixing things, figure out what size bowl you need, then go 2 sizes bigger, because you will be thankful for the extra space if you really don't. If you don't need it, you'll be thankful for it anyway.
Oh yeah, how many times have we used the bowl that's way too small and it's just going everywhere?
So.
Oh my gosh, I can smell that over here.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. I love the smell of that stuff. Alright, there's that. There's all that. Come on. Sometimes you have spices that have been there a little while. The onion powder got a little caked up. That's not a problem. And if it gets a little too cakey,
just use
you can use the mortar and pestle to grind it up. Alright, so now just combine all this together.
Clean hands or spoon.
Yes.
You're You're a nurse. You know how to clean your hands.
Yes, of course you're going to be washing your hands before this. I really shouldn't need to tell you that. Oh, it smells so good already.
I was going to say, also dry your hands really well. When working with herbs, last thing you want is them to just stick everywhere. To me, it freaks me out.
Right, and also there is a degree of spiciness to this stuff. Wash your hands thoroughly after doing this, because you do not want to touch your face or your eyes with spiciness on your fingers. That'll ruin your day.
Use gloves or a spoon.
All right, so you get it nice and combined, and it looks really good. It smells awesome. All right, so that looks good. Now, I have it on my fingers already because I'm going to just give it a little taste. Ooh, that is good. I do think it needs a bit more salt. So,
I guess when you're using a rub, you want it to be more intense than your finished product. So you want it to be, if you want it sweet, you want it to be sweeter than the finished end. You want it to be saltier than the finished. A trick that you can do if you're, I hope everybody's hearing me. I'll come back over. A trick that you can do if you are concerned about how it will be once it's cooked is to put a little bit, just basically make a tea out of it. Put a small spoonful in like some hot water. That essentially cooks the spices, and then give that spicy water a little taste, and that'll let you know what a cooked version, like what that's going to be like once it's cooked. But you've learned enough to be able to taste it dry and
I've done this a number of times, so I'm pretty happy how the flavor is.
Just need more salt.
Just a tad bit more salt. So I'll be back in a moment after I wash my hands.
We'll be back right after this. Meanwhile.
All right, we're back. I'm just going to add a little sprinkle of salt.
Got a lot of sprinkles.
Yeah, and again, mix it up. Oh yeah. Very nice indeed. And it's hitting all the notes, the sweet heat and the savory. Very nice. So now that's ready to be put on the meat. The meat is still thawing. We're going to do that later. In the meantime,
and if you're going to make your own sauce with this, set, I don't know, what do you use, like a tablespoon or two aside?
Yes.
Because that's the key to matching your sauce with your meat, is to put a little bit of the rub in your sauce. So set that aside now so you don't accidentally use it all on your meat.
Exactly.
Experience.
Yes. Lessons learned. All right. See you in a bit. Now it's time to put the sauce together. So, now going out of Steve Reichland's book and just going on the basics of his basic barbecue sauce. So first up, 2 cups of ketchup. Which is basically one of these bottles here. And there's still a little bit of ketchup in there. So the next ingredient is 1/4 cup of vinegar. Apple cider vinegar, so we're going to pour a little bit of that in the bottle.
Or all of it.
Pour all of it. And then give the bottle a shake. See, and you can see it's pulling all the extra ketchup out of there.
So you're getting all your ingredients with no waste and no added water.
Exactly. There you go.
That's like a Depression era tip I got from my grandma. Don't waste it, that was expensive.
All right. 1/4 cup of Worcestershire. Can't say Worcestershire. Sauce.
Lee & Perrins, Worcester sauce. If you don't have that, don't like it, options are Maggie's or soy sauce.
Yeah, I like Maggie's. It's from Northeast Europe. It's kind of like soy sauce, but made from wheat.
Eastern Europe.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it. 2 tablespoons. It says prepared mustard, so whatever mustard you want to use.
Yeah, if you ever see that in a recipe and don't know what it means, it's just the condiment mustard, not the powdered seeds. You can use Dijon, you can use spicy, whatever you have. This is just classic yellow mustard.
All right, a tablespoon of, it says Tabasco sauce. We have this interesting stuff. It's called salsa picante. It's really nice, so we're going to use that.
Use whatever hot sauce you like.
It basically, yeah.
Sriracha, Cholula, whatever you got.
Yeah, whatever hot sauce you want to use. A tablespoon of the rib rub from before. Add that in there. And a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. Now this is the darker brown sugar like that's used in the rub. So it has a bit more of a molassesy flavor to it. So
if you don't like molasses, use plain sugar.
right. Also the recipe calls for molasses. I'm going to skip that because this is a bit more molassesy than that stuff.
Molasses, also treacle is the other
Yeah.
word for it.
So now this is ready to go.
And you can use anything. If you don't like the flavor of molasses, leave it out. You want to use honey, you want to use maple syrup, you want to use sugar, agave. If you want to use alternate sweeteners that they have out there. Monk fruit. This is your thing.
Yeah, that's what's great about making your own stuff is you can customize it, increase some things, decrease others, or omit it entirely.
If you don't want it too sweet, just start with like 2 tablespoons then, because that was what, 1/4 cup?
That was a 1/4 cup.
So half of that is about 2 tablespoons. So start there, and then you can always start less because you can always add. You can't take it back out again.
Exactly.
Unless it's like piled up on top and you can kind of like, which I've done. But yeah, start low.
Like what you can see on the screen is like, oh, I did the brown sugar, take a little pinch, but no, it's all right.
No.
The recipe also calls for liquid smoke. Now,
Liquid?
I don't want a super smoky flavor for this, so we're going to leave that out as well because as I said, we're customizing into our tastes, so we're going to leave the liquid smoke out. And
Plus,
plus,
you also have the smoky seasoning, so
yeah, for international audiences, and for international audiences, liquid smoke isn't widely available outside of the United States, I don't think. So,
no, and I don't think it's necessary. And I do want to let people know it is a natural product. It's a byproduct of like smoking other things. It's like I can't remember exactly how it's done, but it is actually natural. It's not artificial. It's just.
Yeah, it's not an artificial flavoring. Basically, the smoking, it adds a bit of steam to it, so it condenses and then it drips down, and then you have the smoky flavor in the water.
Yeah, so it's not anything artificial. It actually is a real smoke flavor that you would get. If you want to use it, go for it. But
yeah, if you have it available and you want to use it, go for it.
Why am I sounding so Midwest all of a sudden? My goodness.
All right, so we're gonna mix all this up.
Watch one Charlie Barron's video in the morning and your Echo Lolly, it turns you into a Wisconsinner.
So now we're going to put this on the stove and let it simmer 10 to 15 minutes.
Did you put your spices in
yes.
there? Okay. Honestly, I would just let it simmer till it's as thick as you want. Right. You want to get it a bit more.
Yeah, because this is a little on the runny side, and letting it simmer will thicken it up and make it, and all the flavors will meld together when you cook it for a long time. So.
Because you want it to be more of a gloopy sauce, not a runny one. You want it to be like when it comes to barbecue sauce, when you put it on the meat or your plate, you don't want it running. You want it to stay where it is.
Exactly.
So it may take longer than 10 to 15 minutes.
Get it to the consistency you want.
Yeah, but that's what you're looking for is like a no drip scenario.
Pretty much. All right, so we're going to get this on the stove and we'll see you in a bit.
Goodbye. For now.
Alrighty, we're back.
We're back again.
Guess who's back?
Brisket's back. Tell your friends.
All right, now it's time to apply the rub to the beef.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here's a piece of brisket, and here's that fat cap we were talking about before. See, it is kind of thick on one side. So yeah, you want that facing up when it starts cooking. All right, so we have the brisket rub. I'm so used to doing ribs, I kind of... So, we have the rub here.
Dry rub.
The dry rub. Now, if you're planning to save some of this for a later time, just put it in a separate bowl because you're going to be touching raw meat and then putting your hands in the rub.
Yeah, well, you can tell that rub is going to be enough for the 3 pieces that you have. So
and
you're
then
going to be done.
if there's any little bit left over, it's just going to get discarded. So.
Yes. But yeah, if you're planning on saving any, if you're planning on using it for something else, do not touch raw meat and then touch the ribs.
Right.
Or keep like one hand clean, one not, or just have a helpy helperton do it.
Mm-hmm. All right, and you just... It's called a rub for a reason. You rub it in.
Yes, make sure it attaches.
Kind of press it in a little bit. I don't like it super thick on the outside. Some people like it more than others. You know, you want to get
every side
on the edges here. Every little bit.
Typically, like, you just want it covered. You want just like good coverage to where it's all covered and attached and sticking on. A lot of people talk about having a thick layer when you're actually putting something directly on the grill. The reason being is that these things are going to drop off as it cooks and you turn it, and things are going to get stuck on the grill grates. So that's why a lot of people talk about when you're grilling something to really cake it on, because you're just going to lose a lot.
Yeah, when you're moving it around and everything, a lot of it's going to fall off.
Something like this, you don't have to. I mean, it's up to you. If you want to cake it, go for it. Just, it's just out. It just makes a crusty outside flavor.
Well, that's the thing. That's the beauty part of doing this at home, is you can add as much or as little as you like. So. And
if you have a piece and you want to experiment, or like how we have 3 different ones, you want to do one like light, one heavy. That's
however you wish to do it.
We've done this before, so we know. We know.
All right. Now, I want to talk about some, people talk about American barbecue. Well, it's
regional.
It's regional. It's more than just, This technically isn't quote unquote authentic because it's not done in the traditional barbecue style, with a smoker, a grill, low and slow. So, but this will get you there as far as flavor goes and tenderness and that kind of stuff. But traditional barbecue, like Calla says, it's regional throughout the United States. Brisket is basically traditionally Texas, where beef is king.
It doesn't mean you won't find it elsewhere. It's just...
Right.
And that's the reason it is big down there.
Right, because traditionally it's cooked low and slow over oak or mesquite. The sauce is often served on the side, if at all. And it's developed because cattle ranching was made
and
beef
still is
abundant down there, so beef is king down in Texas.
And now, like Carolinas, Memphis, all the stuff like those sort of places was heavy with hogs and pork production. That's why you see a significant amount of pork barbecue and stuff like that.
Right, because...
Why are you taking the fat off? Or are you taking silver skin off?
I'm taking this here is known as silver skin.
Is that fascia or fascia?
The fascia. That is...
I knew how it was spelled.
That is not edible.
I'm not a nurse.
I'm actually glad this is here, so it's actually something you can see that it needs to come off.
It's edible, quote unquote, but it's really tough.
Yeah, you can see how tough this is. Being cooked low and slow break it down a little bit, but this kind of stuff you really don't want, because putting the rub on there is not going to penetrate into the meat. So, going back to the Carolina style barbecue. I cannot speak it good today.
No, you're doing this just before bed to make sure this sits overnight, so you've had a day. He was at work, it's 4th of July. He was at work today.
So Carolina, pork dominates, especially pulled pork or like whole hog barbecue.
Ribs.
And even the Carolinas is more nuanced. Eastern North Carolina favors, a vinegar-based barbecue sauce.
And it's looser too. It's not thick. It's more. It is definitely like it's predominantly vinegar with like a hint of ketchupy stuff.
Western North Carolina adds tomato tomato to the vinegar sauce.
I heard it every way.
And then South Carolina
It's nice.
is famous for
Mustard?
mustard-based, barbecue sauces, and the Carolina Gold, so to speak.
Hey, you're flicking that
Sorry.
all over.
This tradition goes back centuries when hogs were much easier to raise than cattle in the Carolinas.
Because you need a lot of open space and a lot of grass. You really get that.
So, and then there's Kansas City style barbecue sauce. Actually, I'm going to put a little bit more on this one.
Finish it up.
Almost any meat is fair game: ribs, brisket, pork, turkey, sausage.
He said game.
Now, Kansas City is the thick, sweet tomato-based barbecue sauce, famous for that, and that's one of my favorite sauces.
I was going to say, almost all sauces you find in American grocery stores are probably going to be more Kansas City inspired.
Yeah, because barbecue, it's basically at a crossroads for transportation and livestock. So that's why a lot of the barbecue is very varied in the Kansas City area.
Hey, you got stuff coming off the plains and then stuff coming out from,
Then you have Memphis style, Memphis, Tennessee.
Memphis tends to be dry ribs with or without sauces, similar to Texas.
Yeah, the pulled pork and especially ribs, Memphis style ribs. What they call by dry ribs is that they're actually just put a dry rub on it and then they're cooked that way.
And then they don't sauce it, they
Right,
don't glaze it. Yeah.
But they do have wet ribs where there is a sauce applied. I like that. I like doing that for myself when I do ribs, is putting the wet sauce on there. And the emphasis is on the seasoning and the pork itself, making sure the pork flavor comes through. And then less well known, but coming more prominent, is Alabama style. Known for smoked chicken and its white barbecue sauce.
It's mayonnaise based.
Yeah.
Hence
and
the white.
with vinegar, black pepper, and a few other seasonings. It's a regional specialty that is becoming more and more popular in the United States. There are other probably types of barbecue, but these are probably the most well known. American barbecue developed differently from region to region because people cooked whatever animals were available. So cattle shaped Texas barbecue, hog farming shaped the Carolinas in the southeast.
And then, like you said, crossroads in Kansas where you're getting everything coming in and shipping out.
Right.
But one, my brain just parted.
That's okay, but it's all authentic, and none of it is. They all claim that they're better than the others, probably.
It's honestly to your taste.
Right, and that's why some of the barbecue restaurants I like is that you go to them and they have a little bit of everything. Okay, these are Memphis style ribs. This is Texas brisket.
So you usually try it.
Then you have the Kansas City barbecue sauce, and that's just you get literally a little bit of everything.
There was that barbecue. Bless you. There's that barbecue place that we go to. They used to be at Plain and Fancy Farm, where you could get, was it like Texas style brisket, but they also had like 6 or 7 different sauces. They had the white sauce, and somehow that brisket with the Alabama sauce was like, it was just like it's amazing, just like amazing mix, and it was so good. But what I was gonna say was, how a lot of these barbecue places started was they were butcher shops.
Yes.
Or markets. That's why you'll see some of their names. It's like, so-and-so's market barbecue, something like that. They didn't sell all the meats, and rather than have it go bad and waste it, they turned it into a restaurant and would cook it. And a lot of places even today, they are open at like whether it's 11 in the morning or 4 in the afternoon, they open up and they don't have a closing time. It's once it's sold out.
Yeah, once the food's gone, it's gone. That's
because it's it. Because that's how the market was. Well, we only had so much, so that's what they do every day. Because it is a labor of love. They can't keep it going.
Right.
So if they only have so many briskets that day, it's gone when it's gone and it's done. So that's just a few things to kind of know when you do try places. Get there early to make sure you actually taste
definitely.
it.
And then it's difficult to see it now, but when this cooks, it's very strange that the brisket actually has, they may not see it on this because it's a smaller cut, but you'll see it in the videos where there's the fat cap, and then you'll see a line of connective tissue, and then more another layer of meat.
Right.
This is probably cut this way where that
That's second
connective
layer
tissue is gone. But
They
that,
trimmed it. That's all.
right. Yeah, but that adds there when that's there and everything. You can see how tender and juicy that stuff is when it comes. So
The only other thing I want to add is the reason that you are gonna let these sit overnight is, and there's some debate, but there's debate in people who don't know what's happening. But there's been a lot of science behind salt and meat. There's a lot of people argue, oh, it's going to dry it out. It will if you do it and try to cook it too quickly. The salt actually pulls out the juices inside the meat. But somewhere around the 30 and 40 minute mark, the meat starts pulling all that back in. And if you let something sit for 2 to 24 hours, it is fully reabsorbed everything the salt has pulled out. So then it starts pulling in your spices and flavor.
Right.
So that's why you want to let it sit at least 2 hours in the fridge. And it'll still do this. It's like an osmosis process.
Basically, that's what it is. Nature and science love balance. So there's more salt, less fluid on the outside. So the fluid moves to the outside to balance it. But then the opposite becomes true, and then it starts to pull the fluid back into the meat, thus pulling, like you said, pulling in the flavors.
As you're pulling your fingers across, you are pulling rub off.
Yeah. All right, now.
So that's the reason you want to like put the rub on and let it sit. It will make the flavor penetrate.
All right. Now, one of my skills as a former EMT and a current nurse, one of the things you can do to get these gloves off without
making a mess,
you pinch here if you can.
Take some out if they're slippery, or have somebody just.
All right.
Can you grab now? There you go.
All right, and then you just go under here and pull it off and keep it all contained in there. There you go.
That actually works good if you're like cleaning something and you have like a wad of icky paper towels. You just pull the glove over the paper towel, pull the other glove over that, and then you didn't get any ick.
Right. I do need to put gloves on again because we're going to wrap this in foil. We don't need to show you that. Everybody knows how to wrap stuff in foil.
Yeah,
but
you just want to wrap it up.
I just want to show you the trick real quick.
Yep.
So we'll be back tomorrow in the morning. We're going to put this in the oven and we're going to get cooking. So we'll see you then.
Yay.
Alrighty, we're back.
People are gonna hate that you're back shit. They really are.
Oh.
Especially in this video. There's gonna be like 80,000 of them.
Well, that's our catchphrase. Don't want to be our catchphrase.
Catchphrase is a catchphrase. It's still pretty cool.
All right, apologies if there's any glare from the aluminum foil. So we're conducting a little bit of an experiment with the brisket. We're going to wrap one directly in foil.
You're not mic'd up.
So it's going to get nice and wrapped just like this. Okay.
This way it's more tight wrapped, so it's like packet steaming.
Yes.
On papiot. So it's got a nice tight steam.
Right. So it gets a nice tight steam in there.
Now I'm wondering how that might even affect flavor, not just texture and cook time.
And it's all going to be in this pan here because we have the racks here, so the naked meat will cook and not sit in its own juices.
Well, it also ensures thermodynamics, that there's heat getting underneath better rather than just having a hot, although it's aluminum does not conduct heat. Rather than having the direct oven heat on, it puts a like an air cushion.
Right, so this one's going to stay like this. We'll move this rack this way.
Yeah.
And then
and
the
you're
chuck roast.
sure that the sealed side is up.
Right, yeah, so
this way nothing drips out.
Nothing leaks out, yeah. The chuck roast is going to go here, the other brisket's going to go there.
Making sure the fat side is up.
Now, we're expecting the chuck roast to cook a little bit quicker than the brisket. So we're going to check on it on pretty good intervals.
And then you're going to cover the top with foil.
Yeah, we're going to cover the whole thing with foil. And so we're going to check it on after 2 hours and see where we stand. This is going to go into a cold oven and then set it to 250. Nice slow temperature. And that's one of the good things about having an oven cooking this is it's much easier to control the temperature because you just set it and forget it.
Well, yeah, because you're not micromanaging having to start new coals or, constantly watch as it gets too hot and you have to adjust the vents and all that.
Keeping an eye on the wood chips and that kind of stuff. Make sure you have appropriate amount of smoke.
But if you like light smoke, you're only going to smoke and last like an hour or so. But yeah, this also takes away that headache. And when we used to have a smoker, we'd actually start the meat this way, just to make it a little bit easier and then maximize Pete's time off. Was rather than him just sitting outside micromanaging the fire, we would do this for a few hours and get it to a certain point, and then he would finish it for like 3-4 hours maybe on the smoker.
With the light smoke. I use well,
now that we don't have the maple trees around here,
because that's what I would just use the branches and stuff that fell naturally, and I would collect them and use them as a bit of, instead of just buying wood chips.
Well, being around here, the orchards had apple or peach wood or even cherry wood of like where they were pruning to maintain the orchard, and it was just basically a waste product, but they would chip them up and sell them in like cheap bags for like a couple bucks. So you were able to get really cool fruit wood for smoking.
Yeah, it was pretty nice.
It still is. You can still, I want to say Kaufman's in Lancaster does stuff like that.
Yeah, because I can't remember where that orchard was. It was near Princeton.
Terhune Orchards.
That's right.
It's kind of like the answer between Princeton and Skillman. They did that as well.
So yes, this is going to go, like I said, cold oven, set it to 250, and then let it warm up naturally, and then we'll check on it in a couple hours.
I do want to say a lot of people talk about taking meat out and bringing it up to room temperature beforehand. Because this is low and slow, it's not as imperative because it's not so much of a shock. It's when you're going to take, fridge cold meat and put it on a screaming hot grill. Yeah,
directly onto a 600-degree grill. That's going to,
that's going to shock the meat and make it tough. Something like this, you're putting it in a cold oven, it'll warm up. It'll slowly warm up.
It's the meat that was taken out of the refrigerator this morning, and it had already been warming up a little bit anyway.
For like 2 hours, and it's still cold.
And it's still kind of refrigerator cold. It took away, it didn't dissipate the chill too much at all. So
just so you know, that's I don't think that's as important here as other things.
So we're gonna pop it in the oven, and we'll see you in a bit.
A bit? It's gonna be an hour. No. We'll check in. Okay, bye.
Okay, boy.
Okay, wait.
All right, it has been 2 hours. We're going to check.
I'm gonna just stand back so it doesn't steam the lens.
Yeah. Ooh, that smells good.
Like trying not to get the dirty dishes off to the side. Like as if people would be like, they never have dirty dishes. How dare they? Ooh.
All right.
You keep crossing in front of me.
Apologies.
Oh.
Looking very nice so far.
Yes.
All right, now I'm going to check in here.
Watch the juice flow from the initial incision. Yeah, that is definitely not tender yet.
Definitely not. Yeah, it looks like it's not going to even get to maybe 120.
No, right now it's only rare.
All right.
And you said barbecue usually gets to internal temperature 200.
Right.
But then also it's the tenderness. And you saw how difficult that was to get in. So clearly that is not tender yet.
Right. Because when it reaches that 200-degree temperature, it means it probably has been cooked thoroughly enough to be tender. Because this is the stuff that doesn't... This type of stuff does not get served rare or medium.
No.
It has to be cooked thoroughly.
Well, fall apart well.
Right.
And you did not want to check your brisket. You were satisfied that the guy in the middle is...
Yeah, that one we believe is probably going to cook the fastest.
Yeah, and if
And
it's
not there yet, so definitely the other ones aren't there yet either. So we're going to...
Okie doke. Trying desperately not to get the pile of stuff in them. I can't help it. We're doing dishes later after making all this mess. So just give us, understand that, we're human too.
Yes, we are.
All right, so that was the first 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll check it again in another 2.
I'm going to give it 2 more hours, yeah.
Okay. Be back then.
So, yeah. Okay. We're at the 4-hour mark. We're shooting for a temperature of 200 degrees. Not quite to 180. And you can see there's a significant amount of shrinkage in the meat. And yeah, so we're not quite there yet. So we'll check it in. I'm going to give it about half an hour, honestly, and we'll see. Alrighty, it has been another hour. I said 30 minutes, but then I guessed go another hour, and we're almost there. About 190. So another 10 degrees. So this time I will wait another 45 minutes to an hour, and we'll see where we are then. But yeah, looking good, and it's smelling good. Smelling really good. So we'll see how it goes. Alrighty.
Moment of truth now.
Yes, it is. All right. So just as a recap, we did 2 pieces of brisket and 1 piece of chuck roast. One of the briskets was wrapped in foil directly, while the other one, along with the chuck roast, was just put in the aluminum tray and covered. So it was a little bit of an experiment to see what would happen.
I mean, if you have one of those like turkey roasters, you can probably use that too. They work great. That I will warn you, when I cook my turkey in that for Thanksgiving, everything cooks about half the time. So I don't understand the science behind it, but yeah, my turkey gets finished a heck of a lot faster than 20 minutes a pound. So you do have to keep an eye on the brisket if you use a roaster.
Yes. Alrighty.
I wonder if you could use one of those like countertop electric. I'm not talking about like what we have over here. That's like the toaster oven, air fryer, oven combo thing. But they had like these roasters that are kind of like, they're not slow cooker crock pots, but they're supposed to be like oven / crock pot. Oh wow.
Yeah, there's a degree of...
Probably could use one of those. There's some shrinkage.
Yep.
Did you want to get my scale and see? Because there was roughly 2.5 pounds to see what was left.
Sure. Okay, now we're going to weigh it.
This is 2.5 pounds.
So it's 24 ounces. That's
It lost a pound.
That's 1.5 pounds. That has a pound.
It lost a pound worth of everything.
All right.
A pound worth of volume is gone. Wow.
That's a lot.
Keep that in mind when you do this.
Right. It was a total of...
And this was the wrapped one. This was the one that was wrapped tightly in foil.
Yes. It went in roughly at noon, and it came out at about 5:30. So 5.5 hours.
Because this is the small one.
Yeah.
The larger piece that you have, the longer it'll take. Watch it just flow on the initial incision.
Okay. Now note the juice which flows from the initial incision.
And here's where, if you want to take the fat off, you can. I mean, you see where all the fat actually... Wow. It lost a pound of stuff, but it is still juicy.
Please forgive my carving skills. It's not easy to carve looking down on it like that.
That's fine. The 2 pieces are far more than enough. I only need like a bite.
Alrighty. There is, like I said, there's that fat cap, so we're going to trim that off.
Or you just have people trim it off on their plate. A little work doesn't hurt. Whoa, no!
Alrighty.
I'm gonna let you do it. This is all your hard work. I think you could have cooked it a little longer. Just watching you cut it, it's not tender enough.
It's not super tender, but the flavor is really nice.
I know, but you took it out too soon, and that's... Oh, wow, you took this out way too early.
It was at 200 or 195. I mean, it was...
That doesn't mean... Well, actually,
Yeah.
there's still a lot of fat on that.
No, I think it's nice and tender. I mean, it's not like...
It's not as tender as the ones you see in, like, Texas. Like, you could go a little longer. I know you said it reached 200, but you could have gone a little longer to make it even more tender, where the ones in Texas, some of them fall apart. I don't like that, where it just falls apart. But no, I'm like chewing on that fat, instantly thinking of Great Outdoors. What do you mean? There's nothing but fat and gristle on that plate.
There's nothing on that plate but gristle and fat.
That's why I was laughing, and I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
I mean, no, that one is a really good. This level, now that I've tried it, is actually really good if you actually want sliced brisket. But if you want that kind of like pulled, fall apart brisket, you would need to cook it longer.
Right,
So,
and
yeah.
because the probe went through very easily, and it was 195 to 200, so it hit all the markers. But yeah, I agree with you. You don't want it to be super mushy.
No, I mean, I don't. If you like that, then you go longer, and basically rather than testing it with temperature, you just take a fork on the edge and just kind of like, you would take a fork on the edge of the meat and just kind of like tease it and see if it falls apart. If that's the kind of tender you want.
Gotcha.
But you like it when it holds together. It's tender, but it holds together. It's good.
That sauce works really well with it.
My sauce, please.
You were so adorable. No, but yeah, I like having a bit of chew to my meat. Like I said, it's up to you however you like to do it.
That's your plate.
Oh.
Does it matter? Alright, let's see how this pairs with the sauce now.
I think you're gonna like
Because
it.
the rub was nice. It gave it a nice flavor. It's beefy with flavor. I do wish, I was the kind of person that could stand the texture of fat, because that was good. Oh my god.
Exactly.
That was good. Also, if you want to crisp the fat, or get things that are like the burnt ends, if you had a grill or even the broiler of your oven, you would put that under there for a short time to kind of get that extra crispy, where the fat burns and everything caramelizes and you get all that. You can do that to brisket as well. If you're smoking or grilling, you can just put it on the grill for a while. But yeah, that's good. So that was the wrapped one. I wonder how different the unwrapped is.
Yeah, I know. 22 ounces. So that lost a bit more than a pound.
It wasn't, they weren't exact anyway.
No, they weren't exactly 2.5, but
I just want to taste see how the seasoning changed as it cooked. That changes a lot.
all right.
Just go ahead and slice, good and proper. You don't have to slice like this. Slice closer to you, not this way. Slice how you would normally do it. People have seen somebody slicing meat. Oof.
I like having it on the right side. I'm gonna need a fork.
There's some juice. These dried out a bit more. This one definitely dried out a wee bit more.
Yes, it did. So there's definitely a difference. Although you can see there is juice there.
Yeah, I was like pushing on it a little bit. You can see it's juicy, but it's not the way the other one was dripping. So there's something to be said about wrapping it.
Exactly. I like how we conducted this little experiment to see what would happen.
You're welcome. That was my last minute. Hey, what if we...
Well, this is what happens when you experiment. You get to see what...
Although, as I'm watching you slice back there, and I can see stuff just going like... Like, it's just kind of, there's certain juicy bits and certain non-so-juicy bits.
And because the fat cap is thicker back here, I bet you this side is a bit chewier, or excuse me, juicier than over here.
Mm-hmm. Turn over. This is mine. Yeah, that one did not come out quite as tender. This one's gonna have more chew to it.
All right. You got your end.
Just cut that. Watch the tip. Actually, give me another piece because then I want to try it with sauce.
Watch your fork.
Okay. Let's try this one.
All right.
Yeah, it did come out a bit drier. It feels like a bit. It's still tender.
It's still nice and tender.
It has a good flavor, but it's a little bit drier.
I like how that rub worked out, though.
It's a lot drier and yet not horrible. It's not like that's dry. It's not bad. Just making a meat pop.
If that's how you want to do it, baby.
That sauce is really good.
And then
You did a good job.
Thank you. Because of the end, you're getting a little bit of that kick from the spices.
But not much.
No, and
it's pleasant and subtle.
That's what I'm always shooting for. Is like, you know, a low level heat. It doesn't have to be drastically hot. It doesn't have to burn your mouth out because it distracts from the flavor. And I think I hit a really nice balance with a bit of sweet, the heat,
and it's not very smoky. It's not super smoky. I mean, I'm not getting much smoke at all, but it's kind of pleasant that way.
I think that turned out really nice.
I mean, if you really want it a heavier smoke, then just use all smoked paprika instead of just sweet. It's just, that's it. Or liquid smoke if you can find it.
Right, if it's available where you are.
Or if you don't want to put liquid smoke on it, I would say like pour it in the pan or something or whatever, so it kind of like creates its own little like...
Forgive me.
You're going to eat just a thing of fat, aren't you?
There's a little bit of meat on it, but mostly fat.
For somebody who has texture issues, do you want to take a knee?
I'll be okay.
It is so odd that your texture issues affect you so much more than mine do, except for when it comes to like beef and fat and steak fat.
Oh, that is damn good. That is damn good. Please forgive the mouth noises. That is like butter.
We'll just tone them down. Fix it in post.
Okay.
All right, so now we're going to try the chuck roast.
Yes. Good old Chuck.
Actually, can we have a piece of... Here, put a piece of brisket. And either one of them. That one on top, yeah. I just want to show like the cross section on how the structure is. So you can see like how it's done. And you want to cut it... I don't know how to describe how to cut it. You're supposed to cut against the grain, not with the grain. With the grain, you would have cut...
The fibers kind of go in
This
one
way.
direction. And you can see the cross section of the fibers. So this is where you're cutting it. And it adds...
The fibers are running that way.
Right.
Like away.
Exactly,
from you.
like that. And cutting against it adds a bit of tenderness to it.
Right, because you're not having these long streaks of fiber. You're cutting. You're basically like, think of it as like a bundle of pasta. If you were to cut the pasta lengthwise along each like spaghetti, then that's tougher than cutting across and having these tiny dots of pasta. It's probably like the best way to describe what that structure looks like.
Yep.
Get that back.
I'm trying to think which...
My goodness, it's so tight.
It shrank, and I'm actually a tiny bit concerned it might have toughened up a bit. We'll see.
Probably, yeah. Because we did not wrap that one.
No.
Yeah, that looks tough. It's just not... You need a fork for that.
All right. And then here you see it's...
Because it did not have a fat cap,
You can see that some of the fiber is running lengthwise here, so that's where you got to cut. Try to cut it this way.
You can see here how the fibers. That's like I've had that in my mouth. Let me use the end. See how the fibers are like this way. So you have to.
Let's try cutting it.
Cut it at an angle.
Yeah.
There you go. And you can see how it's like more tender now. They did not have many chuck roast options, which was kind of odd. And usually chuck roast does have a lot more fat through it and a lot more fat on top of it. This one did not.
Yeah, it's usually a bit better marbled. I was kind of...
This outer piece looks dry. I feel bad that I'm like pointing with something's been in my mouth. This outer piece looks dry, but inside you can see over here near where fat was. And you can see here, it stayed moist. It's more tender.
And it's much tenderer than it looks.
It is a little dry though.
But a little on the dry side, yeah.
It's dry. It's really dry.
Definitely wrap it.
Yeah, I think
The
that was the
meat
best way to go.
flavor is slightly different from brisket. But it's close. It is darn close. Do you want sauce?
Yeah.
Try and do this left-handed. Left-handed and around the camera.
Yeah, it really works well with it.
The only thing I'd say is wrap them.
And that's
The wrapped one came out the juiciest. And I think the most flavorful.
right, but the flavor's still there on the unwrapped ones. But definitely, yeah, just wrap it in foil and cook it that way, and it'll steam and bubble in its own juices.
It'll stay a lot, juicier, a little more tender. I think a little bit more flavorful. I think somehow the seasoning got into it better. And the chuck roast works great. If you cannot get brisket, the chuck roast really is your next best bet. It's almost a similar texture, it's almost a similar flavor, and the cook time is close. So yeah, it is a good substitute.
And yeah, it works great. It works, just as well as brisket almost, with the spices, the cooking method. So
I don't know which one this is.
that's the chuck roast.
Try it. The sauce is really good too because you put the seasoning in there. Yeah, it's good. That was really good.
Yeah, it is. I really like it.
I do not when we first met, I hated barbecue and I hated steak. You have converted me. You know why? Because I just didn't have good stuff before. We would just get this was back when so you and I met in the early 2000s. That's back when grocery stores didn't really have good quality steak options.
No, not really.
And my family would never season it and they would overcook it. So, yeah. Or if they did, it was just a little bit of salt and pepper. It's you actually have to season a fair amount. But yeah, once you're going to put that in another container, it's not going to fit in that one.
No, it's not all going to fit. Unless if I slice it, it might fit.
So, But yeah, you got me into barbecue because it is, I don't know, you knew how to explain it better and we went to better places instead of just crap people tried at home that wasn't so good. But yeah, so now I like having you cook it at home. This works, but wrap it tightly.
Yes.
Do the thing where it wraps tightly. I mean, you can just see it in the container, which is which. It's that obvious if you want to bring that over. No, just the whole container. Yeah, you can see. These are the drier ones that he had open, and then you can just see this piece, just how the top is so much
Juicier.
Because I don't want to use the M word everybody hates. And if, like I said, if you want something softer, more tender, more fall apart because you want to do like a pulled brisket, then you just cook it a little bit longer. That's it. That's brisket. It's not hard. It is time consuming.
Right.
And it's only hard when you have to like watch the barbecue to make sure you're not getting too hot, too cold. That's where that gets tricky. But if you do it this way, the only thing it's time consuming.
Right. It may not be actual, authentic, traditional barbecue.
It'll get you there.
But it'll get you those flavors. And I am happy with it. Yeah, a little on the dry side, but as long as we wrap it. So the sauce is for it. As long as you wrap it, you're good to go.
Yeah.
And you can.
Yeah, and yeah.
Yeah, I know. You can get those flavors anywhere.
Anywhere on the planet, you can make yourself a brisket and get close.
Yeah.
And again, anybody who's a barbecue enthusiast or somebody who's very particular in how it's done, is this authentic? No. But for people who can't have a smoker or have a small house, they don't have access to these things, it's close.
If you were visiting the United States for the World Cup and you go back to your home country and you're missing that brisket, that barbecue, this will get you there. This will get you those flavors.
You'll get close and you'll be able to share it with family.
Share it with your family and friends and say, hey, this is what I had.
And say, look, if you think this is good, you go to America and try it, it'll knock your socks off.
Wait until you get the authentic stuff and you're good to go.
It's a good starting point too. If you're afraid of brisket, it's a good starting point. So enjoy, have fun, and I hope everybody with FIFA just got, everybody came here to visit, had a great time, and you have a safe journey home. And otherwise, have a good time.
Alrighty, have a good one. Safe travels.
Okay, bye.
Oh, yes. How could I forget? The sauce.
All right, we're going to talk a little bit about the barbecue sauce we made. We're going to discuss some tips and tricks on what to do should it not go quite the way you expected it. This sauce, when I made it, was a little bit on the vinegary side, which wasn't bad, and
no, it wasn't unpleasant, but it was a bit more,
a tad too much.
Acidic.
So what you can do to fight a little bit of the acid, you could either add some sugar or honey, or add a little bit of oil or butter. But what Calla suggested is she threw in a bay leaf and let it simmer a bit. That really helped, and it punched up the flavor too. It just added that little something extra that you just can't quite place your finger on.
Yeah, bay leaves have a tendency to do that. If you have a sauce, whether it's acidic or it's like, it's the salt's right, the sweet's right, the acid's right, but it just seems a little flat. I would say 1 bay leaf for like every 2 to 3 cups. So put 1 or a few bay leaves in, and either let them cook, or if it's something that you're cooling down, just let it, simmer in there for a short time. Fish it out when you're done. You don't want to choke on it.
You don't want to eat that.
No, but it gives it something. You don't taste it, but it gives it like a more subtle nuance and a developed flavor that you can't quite put your finger on. I've done it in soups, stews, tomato sauce for like pasta. It works in a lot of things, and it worked here because you thought the acid was good, but somehow it just, something seemed off, and bay leaf seems to correct all that and kind of make it a bit more wow than just meh.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, and if your sauce is a little too spicy, you just add some sweet. Whatever sweetener you want to use. I remember we went to H Mart, it's an Asian market, and we bought gochujang. That is the chili paste from Korea.
Yeah, it was too hot.
It was a little too on the hot side. So there was a woman there, another customer, and we asked her what to do, and she said, add a little bit of sugar or some sweet, and that helps balance out the spicy. Now, speaking of sugar, if the sauce gets a little too sweet for you, you can add a little bit of salt, or add like a savory sauce, like soy sauce, Maggi seasoning, or
The Worcestershire.
I know how to say Worcestershire, but I stammered over it anyway.
Some people just call it Worcester sauce, and a lot of times they just go by the brand name of Liam Perrins. You can just say that too.
Yeah, the Liam Perrins. It's in the paper wrapped bottle. And if it's too salty, you can add a little tomato paste or ketchup to kind of help balance it out. And probably, like, if you wanted to add a little sweet to it too, that probably would help. Now, we made this, but any bottled or jarred barbecue sauce will work just fine. Honestly, I think the slight vinegariness kind of balanced out with the brisket and the beef, but it's up to your taste to however you want to do it. And that's the great thing about when you make your own stuff. You can add or take away whatever you like.